Well, joining us live tonight to talk more about those VAT-free items is Financial Secretary Marlon Johnson. Good evening to you, Mr. Johnson.
All right, good evening to you, too.
Well, we have this new VAT-free list now after the initial 7.5% VAT and then the 12% that everyone is adjusting to now. We have a breadbasket list of items that are VAT-free, including corned beef, I might add. Tell me how, as far as you know, this determination was made as to what is breadbasket. We heard some of the consumers we spoke to on the street today question that.
Well, I think the breadbasket items date way back to, they've been around for several decades. And that originally was created as a way to create price control around items which persons in lower income streams would consume on a regular basis. So that would have been the genesis of the breadbasket. Your viewers would know that the government has indicated that what it constitutes the breadbasket will be reviewed and perhaps changed over time. But presently, the breadbasket is as constituted under the current policy regime, and it includes those items which have been a part of the breadbasket for some time now.
There's the same question about medications. Obviously, we know what some of the predominant ailments are among Bahamians, hypertensive medication, diabetic, and that sort of thing. Is that what went into determining which medications also fall into that VAT-free designation? Well,
the medication designation is fairly wide. It includes all prescription medicine. So that if you get any medicine prescribed to you by a doctor that has an active ingredient, that'll be VAT-free. Then included all over-the-counter medication that, again, have some active ingredient in it. So if it is something that you take for an illness or an ailment, it includes gels, it includes medicine, liquid medicine, it includes injections, it includes quite a range of things that you can get over-the-counter. And the caveat is that it would have some active ingredient. And so whether it's over-the-counter or it's prescription, it would fall under the VAT-free designation.
Well, we heard business owners, grocers for the most part, in the lead up to the implementation of VAT, talk about the adjustments that they would have to make to their cashing systems, I guess, in order to deal with the changes. What are they saying? Are they adjusting? And as far as consumers are concerned, should merchants be talking about items that were brought in before the VAT system changed?
Well, to answer your last question first, no, all items from the 1st of July would have had to be adjusted, and all items come August 1st would need to become VAT-free, regardless of when they would have brought it in. As far as the commentary and the feedback that we got from merchants, really and truly it has been fairly smooth from what we can tell. There have been questions. The persons within the ministry, within the Department of Inland Revenue, our own revenue department, have been working hard to address the specific questions on specific matters. We've tried to do as much as we can to get the information out on Facebook and through the media and on our website. And I'm pleased to advise that the Pharmaceutical Association and the Grocers Association have really worked closely with the ministry through the month of July to put together comprehensive lists. And so by tomorrow rollout, we expect it to be fairly smooth.
Well, sharp consumers will be keeping an eye out, I'm sure, for those prices and making sure, probably have their calculators out to make sure those percentages are correct. Will government agents be doing that too and make sure that all of the relevant agencies stay on the straight and narrow? Well,
the government would have announced that it has asked the Consumer Affairs Division to certainly become vigilant and go out for price-controlled items. But generally speaking, one of the good things about this that I've seen is that consumers themselves have been very vigilant. They're taking a look, they're looking to see if merchants are moving prices. And if people see things that they believe are questionable, we really want them to feel free to report it to the Consumer Affairs Division, especially for price-controlled items. We also want to be mindful to let the consumers know that we have given businesses until the end of August to adjust their price lists. So you may see price lists on the shelves that may still include the VAT for VAT-free items. But once you get to the counter and cash out, you really ought to check your receipt to make sure that VAT-free items are being treated properly and to raise any points or anything that you think is anomalous.
Thank you very much, Financial Secretary Marlon Johnson. They're great information.
Thank you, very welcome.